Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Aokana. We have ourselves Asuka-chan in the right corner and Shatawin-san in the left corner. Shatawin-san obviously challenged Asuka to a duel. So here we go. You ready? You ready? Madoka is exaggerating every action she makes like she's a professional American ref. Point at the two players and turn to confirm they're ready. Madoka's excited. The hell is up with that performance? I do admire how she tries to have fun no matter the situation though. In contrast to Madoka, the two players waiting for the starting signal are the very picture of seriousness. Are they both targeting second? Ready, set, and begin. Meow! Madoka mimics the sound of a horn, and the two players instantly dive into yo-yos. Misaki bumps her head against the bus behind her twice. They're both going for a boy. Makes sense. They're both all-rounders, neither favours the speed or fighter styles. They won't know who has a speed advantage until they test it out. I know you said Asuka's perfected her form, but will that let her fly faster than Shatawin-san? To begin with, the two seem to be on even ground, but I think Shatawin-san's faster. It doesn't matter how much Asuka's improved when there's still an experience gap between them. Shatawin-san is just shy of a meter ahead of Asuka by the time they cross the middle of the first line. How clean is Asuka going to be then? The possibility of Asuka catching up would be low if they were flying level, but since they're in the middle of a yo-yo, the ascent could give her the chance to pull ahead. However, if I were acting as her second right now, I probably would have ordered her to jump to the second line. The moment that thought crosses my mind, Asuka moves toward the second line. Playing it careful, isn't she? More like sticking to the standard tactics. It would have been too risky to stick to the chase for... Asuka reaches her spot above the line, rotates to kill her speed and waits for Shatawin-san. I feel I've seen this before. Isn't that what Mashiro did against Shatawin-san? That's it! This is exactly what I instructed Mashiro to do during the summer tournament. Put pressure on her from above. Asuka said she was planning to show how awesome Anyway was. I'm sure she could pull off this strategy better than Mashiro did, but that's not what she's trying to prove. Is there some kind of link between strategy I gave Mashiro Anyway's own tactics? Shatawin-san looks up at Asuka hovering above the line, then accelerates towards second and touches it. Shatawin-san's going to blow right below her. After that, she immediately sets her sights on third. Asuka holds her breath and accelerates diagonally down towards Shatawin-san. She has the advantage in distance as she's flying a straight line from boy to boy. Asuka has the advantage in speed with gravity helping her accelerate. Huh? Nah. Seemingly judging that she won't catch at Shatawin-san, Asuka twists around to change course and jumps over to the third line. Good thing she gave up. Always figured she was the type who wouldn't know when to call it quits. Same here. Asuka's a terrifically hard worker, but hard workers never know when to quit. That's why both Misaki and I fought. Without anyone giving her instructions, she'd keep fighting for a boy to the last minute. By the time Shatawin-san touches third, Asuka's already on standby above the third line. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. Shatawin-san starts flying down the fastest route to the next boy, and Asuka heads into a low yo-yo while aiming at her. What is Asuka thinking? The same events play out over the third and fourth lines, leaving the score at 0-4. Misaki breathes a small sigh as she stares at the sky. Maybe Asuka's the kind of player to fall back on the basics when she doesn't have you instructing her. I note a hint of relief mixed in with a sigh. Oh, there it is again. That prickling pain I've been experiencing all too often. I focus on the pain, I know it. But what the hell is it again? It feels like my dark emotions are an anemia that's slipping through the gaps in my muscle fibers. I get it now. This is how it feels to envy another person's talent. It's not just simple envy though. It's something far darker, comprising of a desire to crush that talent beneath me. That emotion too was mixed in with Misaki's sigh. So now I know how Misaki feels. But why me? Why do I? My heart pounds. Why do I? I'm her coach, so why am I jealous of Asuka too? No. This is wrong. Only kids feel this way. I'm way too old for this. Asuka jumps from high above the fourth line to high above the first. She jerks her upper body forward, puffing out her chest to strike an intimidating pose, then she stops. Did something happen? Is something wrong? Are you hurt? Is it your leg, your back? Her sudden stop is enough to make us think something's wrong. Even shattering sound grinds to a halt. Is something the matter? If you're feeling under the weather, we can suspend our match. No, I'm fine. More importantly, Asuka shakes her head, then clamps her eyes shut, draws a huge breath and yells. Well, do you understand now? Huh? You can practically see the question marks hanging over our heads. Not a single person has a clue what Asuka means. However, she gives us a large satisfied nod. Good, then that's the end of this duel. As if to prove she's been serious, she moves to leave the field. Hold on a moment. What is it? She gives Shattering Sound the most naive look imaginable. I'd rather you not look so puzzled. I don't understand anything here. Huh? I said that I'd rather you not look so puzzled, and that I don't understand anything here. When you said anything, how much do you mean? Everything. Do you need me to prove you with a dictionary? Rutuka turns to me after she gets a good look at the two of them. Do we continue the match, or do we accept Asuka-chan's forfeit? Continue the match. Are you sure? You understand me, coach, don't you? A little, but I want to see how you proceed from here. Think you can keep going? I'm sure I can. Rutuka looks over at Shattering-san. Well, you heard them. I'm rather perplexed, but I'm fine with continuing the match. Okay. Shattering-san leans down, forward and speeds towards the next boy. Asuka launches down on her from above. Everything plays out the same as it did before. You figured out what Asuka's doing? Nope, but I've got to save face somehow. Masaya, you sly dog. I mean, I do have an idea, but I'm not confident. That's why I'm having them continue. If my guess is correct. Then Asuka's trying to push herself a whole stage higher. 5. Now the score's 5-0. So you don't think she was just wasting her time up there? I spoke to Asuka back when Shinda-san was facing Anyway. Oh yeah? You did? She told me it felt like Anyway was controlling Shindu-san. Wait. There's a glint in Misaki's eyes as they narrow. Her mouth flaps open and closed several times. She's gasping for air a few times, but then... You're saying Asuka's trying to control this match? I'm not saying she's trying to. I'm saying she's doing it. But it's 5-0. How has that been in control? I'm pretty sure that, as far as Asuka is concerned right now, the score isn't what counts. But then what's the point? FC is all about the final score. No, it's about the total score. That's why I added right now. Over on the field, Asuka's just flown in front of Shattering-san. Take this! Nah, Asuka just scored a point. It's still 5-1. That's nothing. Stop it, Misaki. Misaki mutters, sounding bored. Ah! Asuka touched 3 boys in a row, making the score 5-3. Nyah! Shattering-san lowers her speed, jumping lines for the first time this match. Yay! It's all about strategy, you know. Asuka checks Shattering-san's position before easing herself to a boy, touching it and making it 5-4. Why is Asuka suddenly touching all the boys instead of Shattering-san? Since Asuka was in a higher position, Shattering-san had no choice but to fly in a straight line when she wanted to go for the boys. She didn't. She didn't. Though that's only if she was going for the boys. If she'd been going for a dogfight, it'd be a different story. Got it. Keep going. Because she was low in the air than Asuka, she couldn't use a low yo-yo to her advantage. Huh? Oh right, since Asuka was higher up, she gained more speed in the race downward. It would be manageable if Asuka was just ascending, but Shattering-san would have to ascend to reach a boy. You lose a lot of speed on the ascent. So what you're saying exactly, that while Asuka has the height advantage, Shattering-san's only choice is to fly along the line if she wants to score off a boy? I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's true. But then, assuming Asuka is controlling the match, why'd she let Shattering-san take 5 points from her? Measuring the angle and speed she needs to use to reach the boys faster than Shattering-san, most likely. Remember, she's hopping from line to line because she can't outspeed Shattering-san. The rules state if you jump lines, you can't touch the next boy until there's either physical contact between players or their paths cross. She knows she's at a disadvantage when it comes to a contest of speed, so she's probably also trying to find the right speed to touch the boy with. That way, she can engage in a dogfight right after if necessary. You're trying to tell me Asuka thinks of all that during the match? You can't think during the match. You have to take things as they come. No, you have to think, Misaki. You have to think ahead. I remember what Shiraz-san and Aoi-san told me. Yes. Have you noticed? Misaki-chan relies too much on intuition. In fact, she and Asuka-chan are polar opposites. Exactly, her inability to put together everything she's learned leaves her no better off than Aoigi. On the other hand, Misaki-chan hasn't trained her mind for FC. Everything she does is based on instinct and reflexes. She doesn't try to predict what her opponent will do or read into their actions in the slightest. Basically, she has nothing in the way of strategy. All her actions come from split-second decisions. I feel like I'm being punched in the gut as I open my mouth. Players who don't think can't get stronger. Misaki lets out a tiny gasp. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. No, you should have, mate. I'm too afraid to see how Misaki looks right now, so could you just stare up at the field? There's a slight hint of confusion shadowing Insan's actions, but it's not enough to destroy her belligerent attitude. I'm starting to understand now. This does feel similar to how Saki Inoue plays. You really understand? I'm so happy. However, this isn't over yet. Shattering-san shoots up diagonally towards Asuka. She's going for a dogfight. Asuka observes Shattering-san's flight path, and just as she moves into a downward facing posture. That's enough. Enough what? Enough! She snaps her eyes away from the field. I already know what will happen. I see. Well, okay then. She's just trying to reproduce what happened between Shinderin-san and Inoue-san, right? I'm sure that's what she like, ideally, but I doubt she can put it off that well. She's still a beginner. The match is going exactly how she wants. Anyway, sure, she might end up losing, but it doesn't really matter what the result is. Misaki's lips tremble. Asuka is stronger than Shattering-san. Yeah, she is. That's clear as day. Not only is Asuka at a stage where she's trying out new things out, but she can try things out and still keep up with her opponent. At this rate, the world of FC could very well be her oyster. Well, whatever. Misaki pushed off against the bus and stands right straight. Up straight. Then she flashed me a beaming smile. Asuka's amazing. Far more amazing than me. I recognize that smile. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one I made back then. A smile to lie to yourself and protect you from your own shortcomings. I can only stare back at Misaki. But darkness inside itches at me. Why aren't I saying anything? I let a shallow gasp slip through my faintly parted lips. Say something, anything. If you don't, Misaki will... Nah, I can hear Shattering Sound cry out from above. Time is ticking onward. I know I have to say something, but I just can't form the words. Meow, meow, meow. Madoka mimics a horn again. 6-6. It's a tie. These situations lead to 5 minutes of overtime, right? There'll be no overtime. There are no extensions in duels. Madoka looks over at me. If that's what Shattering says, it's fine by me. What about you, Asuka? Sounds good to me. Shattering-san remains silent as she flies down to us. Grant thy azure blessing to mine wings. I know she's just using an activation sequence to turn off her grav shoes, but those profound words make my chest ache. Shattering-senpai? Ignoring Echino's call, she enters the bus and shuts the door behind her. Guess she's getting changed already. She could have stayed behind for practice, since she came all the way here. But I suppose I wouldn't really be in the mood for practice after a match like that either. 6-6, huh? Quite a lot of points for how things turned out. Yeah, because Shattering-san got 5 points from boys, and Asuka got 3 herself. Asuka managed to consistently avoid getting dragged too far into the dogfights, keeping a consistent height advantage over Shattering-san. But that's all it took, from an outside perspective at least, for her to get 3 more points. It wasn't a particularly flashy battle. All I saw was one player pushing the other closer to the water's surface. Asuka returns to Misaki from the field, smiling and yelling. She won't. She won't do that, Asuka. You should know how stubborn she is right now, and how self-minded she is. Misaki's expression sours immediately. You monster! Misaki? Sorry. She turns to me and whispers. I'm quitting FC. Huh? I'm quitting FC. No, wait. I'm off. Don't follow me. Misaki spins around. She's actually about to leave. She'll let the start of our summer end without even using the field once. Back when I suffered my crushing defeat, I had so many things to say. Yet now, when Misaki is going through the exact same thing, nothing comes to mind. Misaki-chan. Asuka approaches and, noticing something is off from Misaki, calls out to her in a worried tone. Get Masaya to tell you. After that blunt reply, ready for liftoff. She starts flying towards the sports grounds without a moment's hesitation. Asuka looks anxious. What's Misaki-chan doing? Going home. Said she doesn't feel like playing today. I see. That's too bad. Asuka-san. Yes? Asuka stiffens up at the sudden mention of her name before turning around and seeing who's calling out to her. I understand that you're worried about Tobisawa-san, but your match with Shattering-san just ended, so I was hoping you could spare some concern for her as well. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. It's okay, she just seems to be taking it hard. Makes sense that Shattering-san was wounded by the match that just happened too. It would be insensitive to actually say this is Asuka, but I think it would bother most people to see her mind completely elsewhere at this point. Especially if you happen to be someone who looks up to Shattering-san as much as Echino's does. Stop that at once. A sharp commanding voice rings out as the bus door opens with an ear-splitting creak. Begging for her to hold an interest in our affairs would be uncouth and, as such, is completely unnecessary. But that wasn't my intention, I was just worried. I'm sorry. I'm so inconsiderate. Come now. There's no need to beat yourself up about it. Quite right. You should be proud that you are such a strong opponent. but I'm not strong at all. And I'm not allowed to say that someone who could hold me to a draw is strong. Yeah, exactly. Shattering-san's super strong. You won't have a chance in hell of beating her, Mishira Ochi. Asuka? I'm not strong. Asuka-san? Are you implying I'm not strong then? Not just you, Shattering-san. I'm not. None of us are strong. What do you mean by that? You mean that Saki Inoue is the only strong one, don't you? Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Most amusing. Shattering-san kicks the ground and turns around, facing away from Asuka. Ichino-san, it's time for us to leave. Okay. Asuka Kurashina, I believe you see things from a higher viewpoint than even I do. What exactly do you mean? It was foolish to ever think about crossing you. I cannot bring myself to be jealous. Foolish? Well then everyone, may we meet at the training camp. Grant they azure blessings to mine wings. Okay, for goodness sakes. Seeing Shattering-san coolly take flight makes Ichino's quickly bow to us. I'm sorry for all the trouble. I was especially rude to you, Asuka-san. No, I'm the one who's... I look forward to meeting again. Fly! More generic, but still much better than Shattering-san's ones. She activates her grab shoes and chases after Shattering-san. Momentary silence descends on us as we watch them leave. Feels like the calm after a storm. Usually it's the other way around, the calm before the storm. That's the perfect way of describing her. So how do you feel, Asuka? Getting to have a match and try all the new things I've been thinking of was a lot of fun, but... Right. There's this indescribable feeling in my chest. If I had to put it into words, I'd say I feel both close to Asuka yet also extremely far away from her. What must Misaki be thinking right now? That question has been stuck in a corner of my mind ever since she left. How things will proceed is going... Yes, she was going to... Well, actually, she quitted at the summer tournament. She didn't even... For goodness sakes. Was she being serious? Does she really mean to end things here? Hinata-kan? Hinata-kan? Boo, boo, boo. The hell are you so close to me for? Boo. Out with it. Boo, do you realise how long you've been ignoring me? I wasn't ignoring you, I just didn't realise you were there. You should have spoken up. Boo, I had the same idea, that's why I started yelling in your ear. Fine, whatever. I'm sorry, just back off already. Madoka shakes her head and breathes a sigh of disbelief. You've been really lazy lately, you know? Not true. Yes, it is actually. Huh? Miss Kagami, when did you get here? You don't even realise Miss Kagami arrived. Pull yourself together already. At least Asuka-chan and Miss Shirochi are taking things seriously. Hey, I'm taking things seriously too. Are you? You've been spacing out a lot lately. No, I haven't. The training camp with Takafuji starts tomorrow. You're gonna be okay? Keep spacing out like this and there'll be a total bloodbath. We're playing FC, not going to fight in World War II. Masaya, I need to speak to you in the club room. Madoka hops up to the air before I can reply. Wow, sucks to be you. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. Why are you so happy about that? I mean, who wouldn't get hyped? You never get told off for anything. There's something wrong with you. Just come to the correction room already. When did our club room get remodeled? Okay, you were being really snarky at the moment, Messiah. Go on, get going. It's time to start regretting the way you've been living your life. If I've done something wrong, it definitely hasn't been on purpose. But I do have a lot of regrets. If you don't get a move on, the correction room will level up into a torture chamber. Hooray! Seriously? Why does my suffering excite you? Okay, I'm coming already. I watched Kurashina's match. What? When? I was hiding up above. You could have just shown yourself. You are our advisor. I didn't want to interrupt your lover's quarrel with Tobishawa. That wasn't a lover's quarrel. Really now? So what did she say after the match? That she was quitting FC. She said that after watching the match? Yeah. Which means she figured out the meaning of it as well. Yep. So is Tobishawa really planning on quitting? I don't know. Heh. What's so funny? Oh, nothing. Were you the one who taught that to Kurashina? She's probably talking about the style that's similar to anyways. No, I didn't teach Asuka anything. Hell, I don't even understand that style well enough to teach it to anyone. Which means Kurashina figured it out by herself. Exactly. There's a strained silence. Is there a problem? I thought you and Kurashina would be closer by now. What do you mean? I thought you might be able to do something great together. But you've been rather cold to her lately. That's not true. Everything's the same as always. Weren't you signaling that you were ready to give up? I'm not giving up or anything. Look, what's your point here? I'm pretty sure you're barking up the wrong tree. Well, what you think is up to you, kid. You sound pretty mad right now. How you interpret my words is up to you as well. Right then, let's move to the main topic. How do you feel now that you spent all this time as a coach? This some guidance kind of guidance session? That depends on your answer. I don't even know why I'm coaching. Misaki asked me the exact same question during the summer tournament. My answer back then was the same too. I don't know. The frustration I felt back then, and the way both Misaki and I feel now, they're all connected. I never should have started to think about this. I could have just averted my eyes and continued on coaching. I gulp, suddenly feeling thirsty. If I had continued coaching, I may have ended up making a comeback as a player. But I can't even consider that now. Misaki's frustrations dragged me down with it. You don't know why you're coaching, huh? Nope. One side of Anyway-san's mouth raised into a momentary smirk before she gets serious again. As things stand, you're lowering the club's morale. Huh? Players look up to their coach. If he's unmotivated, they're not going to be motivated either. I guess so. It's the first time we've seen her with this expression. A coach needs to be calm at all times. That way they can guide their players no matter what happens. I think she's right, but at the same time, I'm only human. Maybe a robot could do that perfectly, but not me. There are coaches who prefer to laugh and cry alongside their players, but that's no excuse for the stress you're putting on your manager. You mean Madoka? While you've been distracted, she's been left to try and keep up morale all on her own. She has a point. So then, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. I mean, I didn't even realize that until she pointed it out. So what right do I have to keep this up? Why is it that you coach? Is it because you like seeing the players you've taught having fun up in the air? Does seeing them inherit something from you move you on an emotional level? That's how it was for me, at least. Maybe this sounds ridiculous coming from me. My student did end up running away. Not at all. I quit out of frustration. There is nothing wrong with your teaching. Heh. Aoi-san chuckles lightly. Do you want to continue coaching? I do. I don't give up on things halfway. No. No, what's that supposed to mean? You did give up halfway. Which player do you actually want to teach, Masaya? Misaki? Her name glides out of my mouth. I don't even need to think about it. The player that claims to want to quit FC. That obviously isn't how she really feels. How can you know that? Because... Bang, bang, bang. There's a pounding inside my head. A massive door stands at the source. Broad, heavy, and seemingly impenetrable. Aoi-san waits silently for my answer. Because... The pounding grows louder. Eventually the door begins to tremble. Because I'm just standing there at the moment, but I'm trembling all over. I don't know what I'm about to say and that terrifies me. Open. Just open already. I've had enough. Just open. My mind creaks and groans. And then the door opens. That dull, metallic pounding finally gives away. And wind suddenly rushes up from the tips of my toes to the top of my head. I told the same lie once. The exact same one as Misaki. That's how I know. I see. So you were lying, Masaya. I was. What do you want to do now? I want to convince Misaki to keep playing FC. I know you rate Tabisawa highly, but what if she doesn't end up being that good? Even so, that doesn't matter. Talent, ability, effort, none of it matters. I just want to bring out the best in her. I see. If I don't help Misaki now, she's already too deeply entrenched in my mind. I don't see a way forward for myself. Now that I've finally said it, I feel something boiling up inside me. Why am I getting so worked up about this all on my own? Misaki might have zero interest in what I am hoping for. Frankly, it's embarrassing, but I'm thinking of all this. But even so, I have to face the facts. I take a deep breath. I don't have a way forward. Aoi-san mulls over my words. You're relieved of your position as coach. She says it flatly and plainly. Huh? You're relieved of your post. Why? I said I'd do it. A coach that's fixated on one specific player will only lower morale. Let me put it this way. If you told me you wanted to coach all of them, you could have continued, but right now, you're clearly focused on Tobisawa, which isn't fair to the rest of them. I guess not. I've always wanted to try coaching Kirishina. Arasaka could be a rather interesting player with the right guidance too. What are you talking about? I'm telling you to focus on Tobisawa. I'll handle the rest of them. It takes a moment for me to process what she's just said. Right, this is it. Thank you. Aoi-san gazes out of the window. Just so you know, while you two have been lazing about, Kirishina has gotten so strong that it'll be hard for Tobisawa to catch up. You aren't wrong, but still, I take a huge relieved breath as I think. Maybe Aoi-san and Shirase-san and all the others think differently, but as far as I'm concerned, Misaki is the real deal. I don't care what they think. I'm going to prove it. Misaki is the real deal. Good luck, Masaya. I held my breath for a moment, then gave her a nod in return. Aoi-san and I leave the club and head towards the coast. Madoka grins as she comes over to us. She won't be grinning for that much longer. Is the scolding of the ages over? Yeah, all done. I switch on my headset and call out to Asuka and Mishira who are flying up above us. Could you two come down here? Okay. Understood. They turn off their ground shoes as they reach the ground, then jog to the rest of the way over to us. Is something wrong? Oh, Miss Kagami's here too. Did you get scolded? Why is that the first thing that comes to mind? Because your recent idleness has been readily apparent. Exactly. Was I really that spaced out? You were. Maybe, I'm not so sure. As I'm sure you've all noticed, Masaya is currently unfit to be your coach. That's why I've dismissed him. Huh? But, you mean? He's no longer your coach. Effective immediately. Huh? What do you mean? Sorry, I know I've caused a lot of problems for you two, but letting things continue will just make it even worse. No, you haven't been a problem at all. Don't worry, I'm made of stronger stuff than Masaya. It's just too much for him to coach you all right now. Huh? Did you say all of us? Yes, I did. An entire club is too much work for a beginner. Masaya's finally come to understand that. Aoi-san does all the explaining for me. Asuka tenses up as she's in pain, casting her eyes down to the ground. Is it Misaki-chan? Yeah. Ha! Madoka lends out an understanding yet exasperated sigh. I had a feeling that's what it was. Oh well, you have been focusing on her a lot lately, Hinata-kan. I haven't even asked about Misaki about this yet, but I know I'd regret it if I abandoned her now. Misaki is exactly the same way as I was once upon a time. Her frustration has become my frustration. Misaki's private coach sounds like the title of some... Yep. You're supposed to add an O at the end, you know. Get your mind out of the gutter. Aoi-san shrugs her shoulders. You'll have your hands full dealing with that girl. Her head's up in the clouds half the time. I really am sorry, guys, but this is something I have to do. Oh, well, it's your decision. Asuka continues to stare at the ground. I understand. I want to face Misaki-chan at full strength. Good luck. With that, she finally looks up. The thought of Misaki-senpai giving up now gives you this uncomfortable feeling in my stomach. You better bring her back stronger than ever. Thanks. Be warned. I'm far stricter than Masaya. You better be ready for this. Yes, Miss Kagami. I end up alone with Asuka on our way home. After a long period of silence where we're trying to figure out how the other person is feeling, Asuka gathers her resolve, comes to a halt and looks at me. You said you regret it if you abandoned Misaki-chan, right? Yeah, I would. But you won't regret abandoning me and Mashiro-chan? I think I will. Then there must be a reason you chose Misaki-chan anyway. You and Mashiro can get stronger without me, but Misaki... Wait, isn't it a bit arrogant to say that she won't be able to get stronger without me? Is Misaki-chan one of those people you just can't leave alone? She's self-centered, selfish, and stubborn. So it does feel like that at times, I think. But that's not my reason. I can't really explain it, but Misaki is me. Misaki-chan is you? Masaya-san? Like we're the same. We have the same negative emotions. We feel the same pain from our own dark sides. But we avert our eyes and, I get the feeling this isn't going to go as well as I'm hoping. Asuka? Asuka flashes a small smile. Misaki-chan's jealous. That's not exactly right. It's more that she has this gloomy side to her that stems from being unable to pick herself back up. You're right. That was rude of me. I want to have a match with Misaki-chan. I want to see her back at full strength. I'll try and get her there. Don't try. Do it. You will do it. Do or do not, there is no try. Asuka stamps her feet as she leans in toward me. Huh? She's so close it feels like... Yeah, that's not going to happen though. You're abandoning me and Mashiro-chan to chase after Misaki-chan, right? I'm not abandoning you. I just know my limits now. That's the same thing. Asuka instantly rebuffs my words. Promise me that you'll make it happen. If you don't, I'll never get paid back for this. What's Asuka's getting paid back for? I don't really get it. But her emotions are running so hot it feels like I'll burn to crisp if I don't respond. Okay, I promise. I'll get Misaki back to full strength for you. Great! Asuka bounces up and down on her tiptoes so she can do a full body nod, then spins around. Her long hair tickles at the top of her nose. Yeah, then she runs off. I'm going on ahead. Good luck. She says that to me without turning back. A very fitting way for Asuka to show that she's made up her mind. Good luck, huh? I turn away from Asuka to look up the sky. Man, I'm going to need more than luck to persuade Misaki. Yep. So where are we now? A bit rogue. You're mumbling, aren't you? Misaki has her cheek pressed against her desk. She's squirming slightly like a cat taking a nap. Good morning. Morning. She sluggishly waves a hand at me while remaining prostrate on her desk. Not surprised to see you suffering again. I am suffering. Not only do I have to come back to class, but I'm starving. I'm sleepy. I should have just ignored the calendar. Apparently you're free to take the day off today if you have something else planned. Now that you mention it, Mashiro's out training with Misura suddenly pops up and looks at me. Ah, her eyes widen as she gives me a once-over. Morning? Oh right, no way Masaya can be here right now. I'm hallucinating because of the pains of anger. Makes sense, yep. Misaki reclines back on her desk. That makes no sense. I'm no hallucination. That's exactly what a hallucination would say. How often do you hallucinate hallucinations deny that they're hallucinations? We need to get you to a hospital. She takes another good hard look at me before gazing over at Asuka and Madoka's seats. The two of them are also trained at Takafuji, so naturally their seats are empty. Are you just heading over later? Wait, don't tell me you came to drag me over there. Don't try and run away. Don't get off your seat. Don't raise your heels. Don't check the window. Don't search for other escape routes. Don't try and read into my actions. Couldn't you just stuck to don't run away? It's not my fault you act up like a cat in flight or fight mode whenever you see me these days. Don't hiss at me either. Anyway, there's no need to run. I'm not trying to take you to Takafuji. So then, what are you doing here? Do you need to be with him? I'm in the same boat as you right now. Misaki tilts her head puzzled. What do you mean? I quit the club. Where? I never heard anyone react like that in my life. What do you mean quit? Literally what I said. Have you lost your mind? What about Asuka? Who's going to teach her FC? Who, I ask, who? What is this, a cross-examination? Aoi-san, she's a way better coach than me. That's besides the point. Asuka wanted you to be her coach. Maybe in the past. In the past? I think the way Asuka felt about me was similar to how baby ducks take the first thing they see to be their mother. Asuka still wants you to be her coach. Maybe. But she doesn't need me to play well. Her match with Shatawin-san proved that. Asuka has the ability to think for herself during matches. Taking me away from her during that last match helped her master that skill. Besides, Asuka and Misura have already agreed. They have, huh? Well, why'd you quit being their coach? I doubt it's because Asuka's just so amazing. Was it because of me? No. I swallowed the urge to say that the only person I want to coach is Misaki. Misura once mentioned how stubborn Misaki is, and I agree with her. If I push too hard in an attempt to convince her, it'll backfire. I would decide to give her the motivation to motivate herself anyway. My bad. There's nothing a coach can do if a player doesn't want to play. That's enough FC talk for the day. Why don't we talk about normal things like we used to? What normal things? Anything. Like how we think Lay's new potato chips will influence their stock prices? You're obsessed. I don't know anything about that stuff. Oh, come on. Every potato chip brand knows about that. It's do or die. If their stock prices tank, their new product line is doomed. If you really want to talk about it, then we can. Just don't go run away from me. We haven't had a chance to have a normal conversation in far too long. Misaki looks at me vehemently, as if not entirely convinced. Guess not. I'm not trying to trick you here. Nah, that's enough. Misaki gives an exaggerated yawn and starts to mumble again. Can we save the talk for later? Sure, sleep well now. Hope your roaring line of a stomach doesn't keep you up. My tummy doesn't roar. It's far too cute for that. It purrs like a little kitty. Did you swallow one whole? As if. Well, the ending's making me dizzy. I'm so hungry. I really could. Oh God, for goodness sakes. I'm not going to say those words. I'm not in those countries. Go to sleep. I will. Good night. Kind of weird that she's saying good night when it's homeroom. And shuts her eyes and faintly snores. What do we do now? Misaki gets up and opens the window wide. Her dark hair sways as a sea breeze blows on through. Evening already, huh? The sun has begun to set. Guess we didn't notice since we were chatting. We didn't discuss anything important. Hell, I doubt I'll remember any of it in 5 minutes. It makes me worried that something heavier is playing on Misaki's mind. Our classmates have all either trotted home or gone off to their clubs, leaving the classroom empty save for the two of us. We can hear metal bats clinking against balls off from the sports grounds. The baseball club's working hard. Yeah, the sound of those bats hitting the balls makes me feel kind of lonely. Maybe because we're further away than normal. I get what you mean. She talks with an exaggerated tone. Makes me feel like we've been left behind by the world. That's a bit much, don't you think? Not at all. The world is here, it's there, it's everywhere. So you're saying we've been left behind by here, there and everywhere? Well, yeah. Now we're in a world of our own. Wow, talk about depressing. Try and be optimistic, eh? Yeah, coming from you, that's the furthest thing that you should say, trying to be optimistic, when you're the one who is never optimistic in the first place, Misaki. It's a world for just the two of us, our very own planet. What do you want to do? Make some babies to populate the place? Jumping straight to the extremes, are we? There's not much else for us to do if we're alone, is there? I'll think it over, just in case we do survive an apocalypse together. Misaki takes a deep breath as she stares out the window. What are you going to do over the summer break? Not sure. We're not going to practice, so we've got all the time in the world. How about it? Want to start dating? Wow, she says, teasing me insensibly. I drop my shoulders. Dating because we're bored? Don't say that. Makes it sound like we're only going out because we've got nothing better to do. Would I be wrong? Not really, but it's kind of lame when you put it like that. Actually, forget about how you phrase it. I can see myself holding a grudge over forever. Over that forever. Oh, for goodness sakes. Guess I'm gonna just take things one step at a time. One step at a time, huh? How mature? You think? Don't you have stuff to be doing anyway, Misaki? Like going to the arcade? Michelle told me you were just trying. So you're trying to become the best dancer in Japan. Nah, I already took the #1 spot. You serious? Why aren't you more hyped then? Apparently other games are more popular nowadays. Barely anyone plays with one in our arcade. Okay, it's still amazing you're the best player in the country though. It's no big deal. I only topped the monthly leaderboard. Besides, that game just relies on reflexes, so you don't use your head at all. This girl's reflexes really are incredible. They're the strongest weapon in her arsenal. But as Shirazi-san and Aoi-san has hinted at, it's about all she's ever relied on. She probably doesn't have much room to grow. Which reminds me, why'd Misaki start playing FC? I've been wanting to ask you this for a while, but when did you first become interested in FC? Thought we won't talk about FC today. That doesn't count. You played before you moved here, right? Yeah, but only until my second year at my old school. Moving here was what made me give up. Your last school was in Nagasaki, right? Yeah. Nagasaki is known for its FC players, but not to the extent of Shitu. How'd you do? I bet she was really pretty well regarded. I managed to prize everyone and get second place once, but that's all. Oh really? Yep, other times I lost in the third round or the semi-finals mainly. Don't you think that's weird? Not really, why would I? I mean, I find it weird if he didn't even win once. A relaxed smile appears on Misaki's face. I'm telling you, I was never that good. Given her personality, I kind of feel like she never took it that seriously, but her results still seem weird to me. Shuto has one of the highest levels of FC play in the whole country. Nagasaki is good too, but nowhere near as good as here. Misaki took 2 years off after her last attempt too. She just shouldn't have been as good as she was when she started playing with us. You're not lying to me, are you? I'm not, I swear. I really wasn't that great. Good. I'm still not convinced. Sure, she doesn't have the best stamina out there, but is that enough of a reason? Misaki forms a half smile. You were a pretty good coach, you know, Masaya. I could feel myself adapting to your requests. I knew exactly what you wanted from me. You did, huh? This is probably the first time I said this, but I think we were pretty similar, in that regard at least. So why did you start playing FC then? I know this time it was because of me and Asuka, but you don't seem like the type who willingly joined a club at your last school. She hates anything that restricts her free time, to say nothing of how she feels about all the hierarchy nonsense that most clubs have. When was it again? I don't know. But it was when I was still living in Nagasaki. Anyway, I used to spend summer breaks at my grandma's house because of my parents' jobs. Oh, that's where I'm living now, by the way. Oh, so you came to Shitu because you transferred here. One of those summers, I met a girl about the same age as me who was playing FC. I thought it looked fun, so I asked her to join in. And that was the first time I played. A girl who plays FC here in Shitu? Aoisan set things up so I was mainly playing matches against older players. So I don't really know all that much about Skywalkers my age. Her form was so beautiful that even a complete beginner like me was shocked. Only thought in my mind was, I want to fly just like that, so I decided to join my school's FC when I got back. She must have been really good then. Yep, her long hair fluttered behind her as she kept her slightly bent forward posture. She had the smoothest transitions when changing directions. At the time, I thought she looked like a dolphin swimming in the sky. So she started FC because she wants to be like that herself, huh? How'd it go when you actually started? So like I said, I joined my last school's FC club, but everything felt kinda off, you know. There wasn't a single person who flew the way that girl did, so it lacked the same thrill. Huh? Was the way she flew really that exciting? Yep. Her face lights up as she nods. It was so exciting, that girl was really cool. Cool, She gave me a match, but partway through she got like all irritated. I guess it was cause she was an expert and I was a beginner. She flipped out at me, then left. What's up with that? I think she was angry because of how bad I was. It's too bad. Her flying was so beautiful that I wanted to stay and watch forever. I wish we'd flown together more. Do you want to fly like that girl, Misaki? I wanted to, yeah. No, I don't care. It's whatever. Right. I'm still kind of scared of how angry that girl got at me. If only I'd been better, then we could have had way more fun. Wait. Something oily, something vicious is seeping into my body. That anomia again. Anxiety. I don't know what's causing it, but this anxiety is slowly overwhelming me. Something wrong? Oh, I can't put it into words yet. A girl who played FC. She faced Misaki, who was still a novice. A role reversal then. That girl was angry at Misaki, and you was angry at that player. You were both on opposite ends of the field, but it's still the same experience at the end of the day. Partway through she got angry and left. The thoughts feel like dominoes in my head, until they at last arrived at the finish line. I catch my breath. What? There's something on my face? A girl with long hair who played FC. She faced Misaki, who was still a beginner. Partway through she got angry and left. Heh. Many of you finally realized how cute I am? Was your hair as long as it is back then, Misaki? Nope, it was pretty short, like a girl's. I was a real tom kitty. You sure it was short? Huh? Yeah, why? You look kinda scary. What about your chest? Misaki draws back. What do you mean? I'm asking the perfect way, I just need to know. Not sure how you can think asking about someone's isn't, but okay, I'll answer this time. But only 'cause it's you. I was a late bloomer, so... Okay. Okay then. You didn't learn of their name. I thought all this time we was facing off against a he. But it was Misaki that was the one that took us down. No. You better fix that. I didn't give you an answer for nothing. Did the match take place on the coast of Kunahama? Huh? Yeah, I think so. Tell me for sure. You're really starting to scare me now, you know. I don't care, I just need you to be sure about this. Okay, hold up. Misaki shuts her eyes as she thinks hard about it. Yeah, I'm sure it was a coast. I still remember how the girl sulked off home. It was definitely there. Did you score a point in the match? Yeah, but just for one. We were on completely different levels. I had to fight so hard that I remember as if it was yesterday. I get it. Wow. That's just so... That's a revelation in itself. Like, that boy, sorry, that I thought definitely had some similarity facial features as Misaki, but not identical. So Misaki was the one who originally brought Masaya down. Another old thing resurfaces. Misaki's form felt familiar when I first set eyes on it. It was similar to the guys from back then. Seriously, what's with that look? Hurry up and say something already. Open mouth, not knowing what to say. What is it that I need to tell her? You don't have my permission. The words feel natural, but I'm still not sure where my subconscious is going with them. Where's this coming from? You don't have my permission. Repeating my words flares up the emotions within me. That's the first time I've seen the word flare in this. Of course I can't give her permission. Did you lose your ability to hold a conversation or something? What do you think I need your permission for? You don't have my permission to quit FC. Obviously. I won't allow it. But what the hell? That's my decision to make. Not yours, Masaya. I don't need your permission. I'm making the decision because I know you really will quit if I leave it down to you. And if you quit FC, After this point, my words run dry. The emotions within me feel ready to leap out of my mouth, but I just can't form them into words. What's gone into you, Masaya? You're acting strange. I feel it too. I loved how my hair would cling to the membrane, then come unstuck and flutter in the wind. Oh, I know what you mean. The feeling of it coming unstuck is the same one I get when digging into ice cream with little chocolate chips in it. Even when it's stuck to the membrane, it feels great. Yeah, but when you have short hair, Masaya. I had long hair back when I played FC. Right, so you... Huh? I can see the tension spread out over her face. Hear me out. Misaki gives me a silent nod. A long time ago, I had an FC match against a boy I've never met before. It was his first game, and he was absolute trash. But I saw him improve with every single match we played. Eventually, he was able to fly just as well as me, if not even more beautifully. It took me years of being coached by Aoi-san to reach that point. But it took him no more than a few hours. I understand how it works now. Beginners can grasp a lot of things in such a short amount of time. Take the 100-meter sprint, for example. If you learn a trick to it, you can get a time of 12 or 13 seconds without much issue. Or in basketball, once you've gotten the hang of things, it's not hard to pull off basic layups. Sure, it may take some people longer than others, but it's easy enough that most people can manage it eventually. People with natural talent can grasp a lot of concepts very quickly, but I was too young to realize that. I'm talking about events that happened years ago. Yet my heart is pounding. My vision was blank. I was no longer capable of thinking. I felt hopeless. I felt frustrated. It seemed like he was about to surpass the point it took me years to reach in no more than a few hours. But that happens in life. It's not all that strange. When you think about it, Asuka proved that with her sudden improvement during the summer tournament. Back then, Misaki had just got the hang of FC. That's all there was to it. but I was unable to appreciate that. The difference in natural talent between us had me shell-shocked. I came to the conclusion that if someone was capable of flying better than me, I didn't need to fly at all. You're saying that match was between you and me? Yes! I think so. We're talking about the same summer. A guy with short hair, about the same age as me, came over from the mainland and played FC with me. There's no way that's a coincidence. Then the girl back then was. She stares long and hard at my face before nervously nodding to herself. But right, it could have been you, Masaya. I always thought it was a girl, so I never even considered it before. And that boy with short hair was you, Misaki. Indeed. Misaki's mouth hangs open in surprise. Not knowing how to proceed, she ends up being driven into laughter. Seeing how good you were frustrated me. You've seen how good Asuka is frustrated you. Frustration's a bit much. You are frustrated though, right? I mean, I guess. So then, what? I start yelling, unable to control my emotions any longer. What? There's a mouth inside my mind, teeth too. They chew through thoroughly on my thoughts to help me digest them as I put them into words. I demand you repay me for the frustration you caused. Wow. Yikes. This has come to that then, isn't it? As in like, with my body or what, right? So that's what your aim was all along, Masaya. Quit trying to provoke me. First you frustrate me. Then you let me see you getting frustrated, which has me feeling worse than ever. That's not my fault. Right. I can't bear to see you like this, so I want you to keep playing FC. Masaya, I told you already I'm giving up on FC, and I'm telling you, you cannot give up while you're still frustrated. Why do you always exaggerate things, Masaya? I'm not frustrated. You are. You saw how good Asuka is, and now you feel inferior. You don't want to lose to her. You're afraid of losing to her. That's what's gotten you like this. Like what exactly? Frustrated and talk about quitting FC. I was in the exact same situation. I felt inferior to you, and that left me unable to fly. You can't just say we're the same. Yes, I can. We're the same. You feel like you can't keep moving forward if you don't deny it, right? I felt the same. I desperately tried to forget how it felt. Hell, I even managed to forget. But seeing you like this has me thinking I can't move forward. So what? You're telling me to keep playing FC for your sake? Yeah! I never thought you'd just admit that. You really think that's enough reason to make me want to play FC? I don't want to get stuck feeling like this. And I don't want to see you getting stuck either. That's all there is to it. In that case, just make your own comeback. Don't get me involved in your problems. What's the point if you're still left frustrated? You're going to make your comeback. If you don't, I'll be so frustrated that I may as well die. I told you, this isn't my problem. I know you feel the same, Misaki. You don't know anything. I do. We're the exact same. We feel so bad about this that we could die. That's why we can't face up to reality. This has nothing to do with... Don't lie to me. I'm not letting you say this doesn't affect you. The way you feel inferior is eating away at you, isn't it? Aha. It's cracked. I said nothing but the truth. Now it's your turn to do the same, Misaki. I don't know, okay? I've never felt this way before. I'm not sure what to do, so... So that's why you feel so bad that you wish you were dead? Yeah, maybe, but so what? It's just impossible. What's impossible? Beating Asuka, obviously. We see the world completely differently. Even I can tell that she sees things far earlier than I ever will, but... Her voice starts to crack as tears well up in her eyes. This is the face of someone who's failed to suppress their emotions. I can't work out what she sees. I just know that she's looking far further ahead than me. I'll never be good enough to reach her level. You won't know unless you try. I know I can't. You can't change the things I know, Masaya. I just know, okay? It's not like I was playing FC because I wanted to be better than Asuka anyway. I hated the thought of Asuka leaving me behind, you know, but that's not it. That's not it at all. My main issue is, it hurts, Give up. You'll never be able to express it in words. If you could, you'd be able to reason it out and wouldn't bother you all that much. Emotions are overwhelming. I imagine it's somewhat similar to jealousy. It probably comprises of everything it means to be jealous, but it can't be described as easy as that. Misaki's face is overcome with darkness. It reminds me of what I thought when I saw Shatter-Wind-San smile after the duel, but that instance pales in comparison. It's only natural that you don't understand. Hell, I don't either. Why do we even have these messed up emotions in the first place? Honestly, I don't think there's any point thinking about them. Really? We might not be able to understand, but we can get through this together. I'll help you get there. I'll swear it. Get me where? To where Asuka is? No, you've got it all wrong. Where do you mean then? To a place where we can move forward without having to avert our eyes from these meshy emotions. Is that really possible? I can't move forward unless you do, Misaki. That's why I swear I'll get you there. There's a moment of silence. So, we're ignoring the plan to use the rest of us? No, we're not. We're not doing that. For goodness sakes. We are. Misaki breathes a short sigh. Feels like it'd be easier to keep averting our eyes. Maybe, but that has its own downsides. The thought of never flying again hurts. Did it hurt you? It did, but I got used to the pain. I even managed to get over it and move on. But you dragged me right back down to where I started, Misaki. Oh, come on. You've only got yourself to blame for that. I'm going to say it again. I won't let you give up. I will get you there, I swear. So, this will probably be the lamest thing I've ever said. Huh? I finally realised what I couldn't say on the day Shatter-Wind-San challenged Asuka to a duel. But at least I'm not too late. Please save me, Misaki. If you don't fly, I'll never move past this point. Which means I'll be stuck there too, huh? Sure seems like it. It's symbiotic in a way. Misaki breathes an exaggeratedly long sigh. The temperature in the room has lowered over the extended period we've been talking. It feels like a weight has been lifted off our shoulders. Misaki's expression has calmed, like the demon possessing her has been vanquished. Fine. She smiles, then holds out a hand to me. I'll take you away. This is going to be hard on you. I don't care if it is. I don't care if you hurt me. The thought of us getting stuck like this is way worse. You convinced me your idea is better. But I want you to promise me something. Don't just get me there, but come with me, Masaya. I can't save you if you don't. I promise. Please save me, Masaya. Wow. Really now? You're gonna say that? I will. I take hold of her hand. The moment we touch, she lets out a warm breath and smiles. Then at long last, time, frozen since that day at the summer tournament, starts to move once more. It's at this instant I realise something important. I love Misaki. I don't know when I'll get the chance to tell her, but I know it'll happen at some point. It'll be cowardly to use the momentum from this conversation to spill my guts. Yeah, it's emotional, overwhelming as it is. But I will say it when the time's right. Unless she says it first, you know. I'm quitting FC and... Right, let's make this our comeback. Aha! Here we go! Past and future. That is a very spoilery achievement, really, in a way. Because if you see the past and future as together, and it's kind of like, well, this is the present. I call out to Misaki as she runs along the beach. Lift your knees up higher, you're losing speed. Ha, ha. Misaki pants harder as she raises her knees and accelerates. Don't give up, you're almost there. You've got this in the bag. Misaki finally arrives at the finish line unmarked in the sand. Ha, 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 ha. She staggers to a halt, throwing her head back to stare up at the sky as she gasps for air. Don't stop, you need to keep moving, otherwise the lactic acid will build up in your muscles. It may be hard, but I need you to do a light jog back to the start position. Lactic acid builds up in the muscles as you exercise, which is what makes you feel fatigued. It stops being produced when you finish, but it also takes longer to drain from your muscles, which can leave a person more tired in the long run. Light movement helps it drain without building up in excess, so any decent training program would include a cooldown period. However, she is still exhausted. While it's easier on your muscles, it's harder on your lungs. When it comes to pain, it's far harder to endure the feeling that your lungs are about to explode. I know you want to stop to catch your breath, but it's best for your muscles that you keep moving. What's with this hellish warm-up routine? Why aren't we jumping straight into flying? You thought this was a warm-up? You're not doing any flying today. Huh? Come again? I'm not flying, but flying is fun. That's the whole reason I play FC. Wow. I never thought I'd see her the day of her saying that, for goodness sakes. You're not flying today, and you're not flying tomorrow. Hell, you probably won't even fly the day after. You monster. I can't believe you bullied me so bad, I feel sick. This isn't bullying. I'm being bullied mentally and physically, but I'm not having any fun. Well, no blank. I mean, you know, everyone's different. Don't just assume I'll get what you mean. If you're gonna be sick, then do it while running. You actually just told me to throw up while exercising. Quit complaining and get back to running already. If you can keep your mouth running, you're not gonna be sick. I would actually stop practice if I thought she was gonna be sick, mind you. I quit. I can't take this. Yes, you can. Don't give up on me, as if I'd let you. I thought you were ready for the pain. You never said that included running. Well, that was dumb. Every sport uses running. Even fun wrestling? Do we run to warm up for that? Feel free to name as many exceptions as you like. You're still gonna run. This is too much. You're a monster, Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Where was it? How'd you... Oh, here we go. What was the conversation again? Oh, it goes all the way back there, okay. There are more important things to do. I haven't flown in days already. I need to slip on my ground shoes to get back in my groove. Something like that. Not happening. Why? Everyone else gets to train at Takafuji where we have proper equipment, but I'm stuck running in the sand. The sand is more than enough for you, Misaki. You can even use it as a toilet when you need to. I'm not a cat. God, what's the point of FC if we don't get to fly? Quit being so impatient. I was born impatient. Is this to train my willpower or something? Are you trying to break me down like they do it in the army to... You've got the wrong idea. I'm not here to break you down. Then what will you do? Huh? What do you do if you face Asuka in a match? Are we talking about my mental state here? We're talking about your body. My body? Like, no! Your physique. You know as well as I do that this isn't the time to discuss your looks. I can tell you have trouble figuring out where to look, is all. You can start fantasizing while you're at it. I'm your coach, and you're my player. It doesn't matter how you are. I won't have any trouble looking at you. How manly of you. How about if I was... Wouldn't bother me. I can switch myself off at times like this. When girls are in PE, their sweat stand out through their shirts, but I can put my hand on my heart and say that's never gotten a rise out of me. These things are all about your state of mind. Though, if I somehow accidentally peeked on girls and changing, then I might find myself switched being flipped without meaning. No! But you did that once already, didn't you? I was so close to seeing yeah, you were. Misaki peers at me with an odd look on her face. You're imagining something pervy. I am not. Do I really make a weird face when I think about those things? Madoka points it out once too. But if you saw me while you weren't acting as my gut, you're trying to drag out this conversation you can rest longer, aren't you? Misaki averts her gaze. I don't have the slightest idea what you mean, coach. What do you think would happen if you face Asuka as you are right now? Like, literally? Yeah. Say the full tournament was today, and you were up against Asuka in the finals. What would happen? I'm sure I wouldn't win, but I'm even more sure I wouldn't lose. You'd lose 100%. The gap between us is that wide already? You'd lose to Shadow-San or Edgenose too. You probably beat Mashiro. That's the level you're on. You really mean that? Oh, I get it. You're exaggerating to try and get me fired up, right? Not at all. I'm serious. Has everyone improved, or have I just gotten worse? You have to get through several rounds to get to the finals. Yeah, I know that. So assuming you actually made it, you'd be totally worn out. Just flying along the first line would have you out of breath, so you'd obviously lose. You know as well as I do that you're lacking stamina. To make matters worse, you haven't practiced at all since the summer tournament. You're right. It hurts not to be able to perform at full strength. Yeah, it really does. And I doubt you want to have to console yourself with the thought that you could have won if you were at full strength. No, I don't. So we have to start by strengthening your body, and that means more cardio and getting rid of that unnecessary fat. Yeah, you're right. This will form the basis of everything we're going to do. You won't get anywhere without it, Misaki. I get it already. I'll do my best. I know this is physically demanding practice, and it's going to be hard, but don't worry, I'm not going to leave or run away at this point. Just tell me what today's schedule is first. I need to prepare myself. One set will comprise of 5 100-meter sprints, followed by a break, followed by 5 200-meter sprints. We'll start with 3 sets. Wow! I'm going home. I'm 100% sure you set this up to drive me away. You promised you wouldn't say that. Do you always break promises this quickly? You're gonna kill me. I can already see death awaiting me. Just get running already. I want you at full speed. If you can keep talking where your mouth is running, then you can do this, Misaki. We've reached the starting position, so I let go of Misaki's hand and stopped dragging her. You've been bullying me this whole time, but I'm still not having any fun. Sometimes you gotta get through the bad stuff to get through to the good stuff, you know. If you've got the breath to make that joke, you've got the breath to get running. Fine. I'm ready now. You said that like 50 times today, but I actually mean it this time. Misaki brings her hands up to her face like she's scooping water and gently claps her cheeks. Let's get this show on the road. Sure thing. Ready, set, go! Right. Wow, okay. Now it's the time for your comeback, Misaki. Now time for you to use that brain of yours. What we wanted. Definitely symbiotic. No way. I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, give me a break. Let me see your wrist. I need to check your pulse. Misaki holds her arm out toward me. What? Got an interest in my heart rate? We're training your heart and lungs here, so obviously. I press my thumbs against her wrist while we're using the clock on my phone to measure her pulse. Misaki laughs once she's done catching her breath. Is feeling my heart racing getting yours racing too? No, why'd you keep making up these weird fetishes? Like you might end up asking me to do something really extreme later on, so I thought I should get myself ready. Relax, that won't happen. I don't know, that's making me feel even more nervous. Great, Misaki hops backwards. Great. What? You mean you enjoy that? No, man. You sure can take it for someone who you sure can joke for someone who's supposedly exhausted. I'll pull my thumb off her wrist. That's the end of the sprints. Huh? Already? What's next? That's it for today's practice too. Huh. Doesn't feel like special training to me unless I collapsed. Almost lifeless on the ground from exhaustion. Looking up at you with lifeless eyes. I'm a coach, not a torturer. I wouldn't push you to that point. I don't get why this is the end. I can still keep going. Your pulse has reached its peak, and you've already done the number of sets I asked for. More would just backfire on us. How? It's not the more you do the better here. You ever heard of overworking yourself? Maybe once or twice. Essentially training too hard weakens your body. Yep. So doing more would be overworking myself? Exactly, the exercise would actually weaken your muscles. Huh? Doing more exercise can make you weaker? Seriously? Exercise actually weakens your muscles. It's a recovery period that makes them stronger. However, if you exercise too much, you weaken your muscles more than they are able to recover. We have to wear you out to a point, then let you recover. Wear me out to a point, then let me recover? Man, you sound like an abusive husband. Your muscles will grow more efficiently if you put them through cycles of strength and weakness. I was taught all this by Aoi-san. Doing 5 to 10 miles runs on a daily basis isn't an efficient way of increasing your stamina. It might be necessary in sports that require you to run for a long amount of time or cover long distances, but FC matches neither criteria. And here I was thinking we'd be practicing so long I'd go crazy, you know? Kind of like how you see people collapse on the floor and pouring water over themselves. I wouldn't push you that hard, though. I guess that might be up to you. Misaki laughs timidly. Oh, really? It's your decision to make in the end, not mine. Huh? What decision? How much you feel you need to get the hang of things before you improve, I guess. Yeah, that is something to think about. Practicing for ages and ages until you collapse is one way of getting the hang of things. But it also isn't. What do you mean? I don't really know if it works, but truly strong people all seem to have experienced that sort of thing. Most of their time is spent just doing normal practice sessions, but they often seem to get through really brutal sessions for short periods of time. There are a lot of emotions that come with playing FC. There will be times where you know you're overworking yourself, but you feel you have to get out there and fly. And there are things you can only learn through that, huh? There's no need to stress over it. The most likely conclusion we'll come to is that it's bad for your fitness. So what do we do for the rest of the day? Go home, fly in the sky, join the Mile High Club? We're gonna make you smarter. Excuse you? I've never even come close to failing a test. I'm not talking about school, dumbass. We're going to get you a mind for FC. A head for FC? How do I get one of those? A mind for... Actually, I guess heads work too. I prefer to talk about this somewhere else where we won't stand out. Can't we go to a cafe or something? Nah, this could get embarrassing. It could? It's not what you're thinking about, trust me. What are you trying to imply about my imagination, kind sir? What's wrong with the sudden formality? Look, I just want to go somewhere we won't be interrupted. How about my place? My grandma should still be out in the vegetable garden around this time, so you've got nothing to worry about. Yeah, sounds good. Masaya's come into my house to spend some time alone with me to do something embarrassing. Eek, what's gonna happen to me? Quit trying to provoke me. Look, I brought something to use. I take it out of my bag. But that's... Misaki is momentarily at a loss for words. I bought 2 of them, but it looks like you brought your own. Ah, I always keep my little Masaya with me. Ah, this guy again, for goodness sakes. Masaya and I pull out the Mr. Shitu plushies I won in the crane game at the arcade. She points her Mr. Shitu at me and bends him over. Good day, Masaya-kan. I always point my Mr. Shito at Misaki. Good day, Misaki-chan. Are you doing well? On every level except mentally. One's mental state is very important for one's well-being, so please do be careful. On one hand, I'm sad, but on the other, I've eaten my fill and exercised to exhaustion. My body feels great, my mind is in a slump. When did things get so gloomy? I was just talking about using these to train your mind for FC. So, presumably Mr. Shito will hypnotize me into learning everything I need to know. Oh, now I know why Shito has the highest level of FC players in Japan. Quit going about tangents already. We're gonna use the plushies to stimulate FC. We are? Yep. I know Mr. Shito horizontally, as if he's flying, and imitate him turning mid-air. We'll move around like this and have a match between the two Mr. Shitos. Okay. Feels kind of dumb, like we're playing with kids playing with toys. You are a child most of the time, Misaki. What's so childish about these? We're not talking about those. Don't talk about yourself like that. I meant your mental age, not your physical age. Misaki starts moving Mr. Shito about willy-nilly. So this is gonna get me ahead for FC? Moving it around all over the place might help you reach some sort of religious enlightenment, but it won't help your mind. You need to take this seriously and think about what you're doing. Couldn't we do this by actually flying? Nope. You try to win all your matches through instinct. Jeez, I do think too. You might, but everyone else thinks way more. They do? They do. I answer firmly to make it stick in her mind. Since you win matches through intuition, you'll just do the exact same in practice. Why else is there to dogfights other than intuition? There's a certain level of theory behind them for one. But does it come down to instinct in the heat of a moment? I trust your ability to make decisions in the heat of a moment, Misaki, but what I need to teach you is how to look at the match as a whole. Oh, mastering this will let you control the field, and control your opponent. Misaki stares at me through upturned eyes. Is this how Asuka and Inoue-san think? I happen to check some FC fan sites and discover that Inoue has been nicknamed the Monarch of the Skies, after not only winning the Shito tournament but also the national tournament several days later. Accounts of the game don't seem to have worked out what Inoue's playstyle is, but the nickname captures her essence perfectly. I've watched videos replay the match inside my head. I even went as far as to get Shindo-san's number from Ichino so I could call him up and discuss it. Now I'm sure that I can use these Mr. Shitos to teach Misaki about Inoue's playstyle without having witnessed it more than once. For some reason you always fall back on instinct when flying. At least practicing here, you get the time to calm down and think things through. With Mr. Shitos, huh? But like, you're my second Messiah. Can't you just do the thinking for me? I'll just follow. No, you gotta do the thinking yourself. It takes too long to instruct you unless we're already on the same page. There's no time for more than brief instructions in an actual match. Yeah, guess you have a point. Also, if you're focusing too much on what your second is saying, you won't be focusing enough on your opponent. Even though the best players still use seconds, they think things through for themselves. You could say they see nothing but their opponent during the match. I couldn't know what you're getting at there. You were talking about fear and stuff after your match with Ichinos, right? Yeah? There are things you discover about your opponent during matches that are hard to put into words. What's important is how you decide to act when you feel those feelings. That wasn't something a second can instruct you. Yes, you need to be following your second's instructions, but at the end of the day, a second's opinion is no more than that, an opinion. The ultimate decision is in your hands, Misaki. That's so. You're the one who has to decide how to fly in the moment, and that's why we need to train your mind for FC. Misaki gives a slightly exasperated nod. Alright, we may as well give this a go, since you're so passionate about it. Oh, let's start. I look around Misaki's room. We'll use the string for your lamp as the first, this part of the bookshelf as the second, the handle of your closet as third, and that stain on the wall as fourth. This has turned into a real pain. Less sass, more serious. Roger, so what are our roles? I'm the fighter and you're speeder? Your Mr. Shitu is you. My Mr. Shitu is anyway. Right, all I have to do is crush her, yeah? Go ahead and try. Roger. Okay, line up by first. Misaki bops her Mr. Shitu over. Ain't no darn tooting way you're gonna beat me. I told you that Mr. Shitu was you. I always talk to myself like this. Quit fooling around and take this seriously. I know. Whoa, a direct touch in Anyway-san's chest. Take this seriously. I seriously touched her. If that was meant to be serious, then you better do that next time you meet anyway. Fine, I will. So after I touched her, you have to do the same. Why the hell do we both have the air? We would get kicked out of the venue before the tournament even begins. I would have no regrets. Well, do something about that. Okay, we're starting. I'm ready. I see, and we've even got the music here as well, for goodness sakes. Lovely. Goodness sakes. Let's see. Misaki obviously does that. Alright, I'm jumping to a bookshelf. At least pretend this is real and say that you're going to the second line. I'm begging you. Fine. I transfer my soul into Mr. Shitu and zoom over to the second line. Well, I guess that counts as serious. Misaki skips to the line between the bookshelf and the closet handle. Okay, I'm moving straight forward. You have to take this seriously too, Masaya. Pretend to be Anyway-san. We need to take the game seriously. There's no need to pretend to be the persons themselves. There is, okay? This is all part of making it realistic. You gotta growl at the start of every sentence just like she does. Growl. I'm here to play FC. Anyway doesn't talk like that. Aw, I'm all hot. Okay. Do you have to do that? For goodness sakes. Why would Anyway ever say that? Misaki starts rotating her Mr. Shitu. I'm circling above the line and waiting. I've touched seconds to go on my first point, and now I'm using the repulsion from it to accelerate. I'm looking over Anyway-san while circling and waiting for her. I fly up above the line. I'll follow her lead and ascend. I challenge her to a dogfight from below. Anyway goes along with your dogfight. Is this seriously going to help? Don't break character. Bam! I feint to the side, then use a reversal to get on top. A reversal is a technique where you slip to the side of an opponent coming at you from above to position yourself above them instead. Anyway reaches out a hand and taps you on the head. Hold on, can she do that? Easily. She has a height advantage. Remember, reversals are difficult. When your opponent is at least somewhat competent, you have to focus on your timing and be unpredictable. If you don't master those two skills, you won't get anywhere. If Misaki was facing Mashiro, she'd be able to pull it off, but against Anyway, she might succeed 1 time out of 10, if that. In that case, I throw some more attacks on below, then descend. Anyway-san chased after my tail. Now I've got her where I... Not likely. Anyway-san keeps her distance while she chases you, observing. She doesn't accept your invitation. but I'm going for a frontal attack. I ascend again. Anyway focuses on ensuring that you don't climb any higher than her, rather than trying to score points on you. Misaki starts bumping her Mr. Shito into mine. Doesn't matter. With all the attacks I'm throwing at her, I've got to score at least 1 point. Nope. Why not? Am I that bad? You're good, but I've never seen anyone actually engage in a dogfight, so I can't make a comparison. Doesn't that mean I'll definitely score a point? But okay, goodness sakes. That depends if you can actually get her into a dogfight. Take a moment to think about your positions. Huh? Both of you are facing down toward water. You're trying to get vertical, so most you'll manage is a forward bent posture. But that's the normal way of flying. We're trying to develop your mind here, remember? Try thinking about it for a moment. What do you have to do to score points in dogfights? To score points? Are we talking mind games here? Like blank out of your mind and go kind of stuff? I'm telling you to think, not clear your mind. This is important. It's the first thing any beginner is taught. You gotta touch their back to get a point. Oh, that's it? Huh? Wait, it's really that simple? Yes, it is. So then it's like this, yeah? Misaki brings her Mr. Shito level with mine. While I was below anyway, saying she could touch my back, but I couldn't reach hers. An obvious conclusion, given both had their backs pointing upwards. Inverted flight is difficult, so you'd have your back facing her too. Hold up, this is all she has to do to counter me? Yeah, probably. Misaki looks dumbfounded. Why has no one ever done this before? It's so simple. Because everyone's fixated on the idea that dogfight is all about continuous flight and flying as fast as possible. Well, yeah. Don't give me that. You're the one who's been calling it a simple strategy. Both students and teachers are under the same impression. No one questions it. But why does no one question it? Because FC dogfights are based on actual warplanes. Really? When two airplanes engage in battle, that's called a dogfight. FC adopted this as a part of the sport, turning them into continuous flight dogfights. What's up with the continuous flight path? It's because, unlike helicopters, planes can't come to a stop in the air. FC has a pretty short history, so it's easy to research. And if you do, you'll see that they use to award points based on touching your opponent anywhere. Oh really? Wouldn't that make fighters super overpowered? Totally. That's why they limit it to only scoring when you touch your opponent's back. Otherwise, fighters would just stop moving and start throwing jabs at each other from the front. Misaki shuts her eyes and imagines it. Oh, I get it. Then it would turn to some kind of combat sport like boxing or wrestling. Apparently that's what ended up happening. The whole point of the sport is that flying is fun, so just coming to a stop and having a fist fight in the air ruins it. That's why they amended the rules. But why only the back? Because the players have to try and circle around each other to score. Yeah, it's the most skillful part of the body. That makes the flying more intense and exciting to watch, but also harder to get as well. Makes sense. The current rule set was designed to make as much of a show out of flying as possible. Since it's recommended to everyone, they'll take it as the correct way to fly. So what you're saying is that Inui's exploiting a loophole in the rules. She's just doing everything she can to win. As long as she's not breaking any rules, no one can criticize her. I guess, but I can't say I'm happy about it. You think they'll change the rules if her strategy gets popular? They might. But it won't happen before we graduate, and there are a lot of people who wouldn't want the rules changed anyways. There are? Asuka loves seeing Anyway in action. Misaki smiles gloomily. Right, Asuka. Duh. Anyway, back to the practice session. Roger, I can't challenge her to a dogfight from below, so I take a large detour and aim to get above her. That's a strategy that Shinda-san tried. It's the first thing anyone would think of in that situation. It's difficult to look above you while you're flying at full speed, right? Yeah, it is. Her chest would be facing the water, meaning she'd have to twist her entire body to see above her. But anyone can see you perfectly from her position. That's why I have a second to relay that information. Obviously I would, but I'm sure you realise that hearing information about someone's position is different from actually being able to see them. Yeah. So anyway, who has a height advantage comes down from above and attempts to touch your head. Then I descend into a low yo-yo. Anyway doesn't follow. Instead, she just slowly closes the gap between you. Well, I made some distance between us. She allows you to do so for a moment before chasing after you. I'll just run further away. What the hell? Misaki ended up crouching down on her shitus, practically rubbing against the floor. I've run out of airspace, just like what happened to Ichino-san in my match with her, but with the positions reversed. Now, just like her, you can only move horizontally. You're getting Ichino's into a position that was just a result of your actions, but anyway calculated this. I see. So what do you do now? She's already taken a point, so I don't want to jump to the next line. If she did, she'd be giving anyway free access to a third, making it 2-0. I'll move to the side of a second to get myself some space. While you're doing that anyway, starts aiming straight for third. Wait, I give chase. You can't catch her, anyway touches third. That's the score 2-0. She uses recoil to accelerate. Wait, so no matter what, I have to work from 2 points down? Yep. I have to do everything over again while 2 points down. Oh, I see. This is how Shindo-san lost. Misaki nods. Seems she finally understands. Exactly. There's no way I can win. No, there isn't. But it has nothing to do with your dogfighting technique. It's simply a matter of whether you know the strategy or not. And Asuka finds this fun? Apparently, yeah. Impressive. I swear, that girl is insane. How will you break out of this situation? Well, you have an idea, right, Masaya? Can't you just tell me instead of making me think about it? No, you gotta think about it. I don't have a clue. You serious? Sure am. So try and think about it. Misaki rocks her Mr. Shitu left and right as she ponders. If I fly like this, then do this and this like this. Grr! After a long while of trying, Misaki suddenly holds Mr. Shitu above her head. And then Mr. Shitu goes vroom! Oh gosh, you obviously have had enough. She throws him at the wall. Hey! Mr. Shitu exceeded the speed of light. He's at mech speed. The speed of light is incomparably faster than mech speed. Did you realise that, right? Your tricks are worthless in the face of my mech light speed flying. Take this seriously. What the hell is mech light speed anyway? Some new unit of measurement? I was taking this seriously. All that thinking made my head explode, which made my impulses take over, letting Mr. Shitu cross the light speed barrier. Pretty cool to throw an extension of yourself into a wall. Oh yeah, I transferred my soul into him. Hey, hold it. What about what I just said? Did? What about it? Why don't I just use my speed to overtake her? Yeah, I consider that myself. Misaki shrugs her shoulders. What, you don't think it'll work? It might. If you were playing Asuka, it wouldn't work on anyway. Pardon me? Anyway managed to beat Prez in the contest's speed. Oh yeah, that did happen. I wouldn't have any chance in a speed showdown. She is a speeder after all. Those unfamiliar ground shoes anyway was wearing briefly comes to mind. I wonder how they were tuned. So you mean this is a strategy she keeps in reserve for when she can't win with speed? Probably. She tried racing Shindo-san when their match first started, but she soon gave up and switched to this tactic. Let's keep going. It's easy to understand when you're actually moving Mr. Shitu around. Alright, let's do this. Before long, Misaki actually ended up putting in the effort required to enjoy our simulated Mr. Shitu session. We come to a stop in front of a gate. The sweet smell of soy sauce is wafting over from what I guess you describe as the main residence. That smell is kind of exciting. I do love it though. Yep, smells like home cooking alright. Though I do get why she finds a guy smelling this as her place embarrassing. Smells delicious, whatever it is. Well, that's nice. Wanna join us for dinner sometime? If I get the chance. Fair enough. It would be embarrassing. Yeah, and explain everything would be a pain. Her grandma would definitely ask if I'm her boyfriend. Want me to walk you home? Guys walk girls home because it's not safe for them to be walking around alone at night? It'd be weird if you took me home now. But I've never heard of any creepy pervs hanging around in this area. Seriously, it's fine. You don't need to worry. You sure? Yeah, we'll see each other tomorrow anyway. Right. Later. But wait a minute. She hurriedly grabs hold of my sleeve. What's up? We're going to be at the beach again tomorrow, yeah? Yep. So, yeah. I'm gonna work real hard tomorrow. You are? It's at this point she realizes she's still holding my sleeve and quickly lets go. You know, like, I say a lot of things that makes it sound like I'm not motivated, but I am really. So, yeah. I get it. Good. See you tomorrow then. Good night. We wave at each other as I walk off. Some sentiments, unfortunately, are not going to keep me from moving Misaki back up to 3rd place along my favourites of this game. Well then, folks, we're going to be continuing these exercises in the next time. You'll be seeing this in the beginning of the next episode. So thank you all so much, and for goodness sakes, you said you were quitting FC, but we both held each other's hands and are restoring ourselves back upwards. So thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next time, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves.